You the chef now.
Nigga, fuck Oshay Duke Jackson. His gossip girl ass. All he motherfucking do. This ain't nothing but a messy Betty trying to come up on the YouTube by talking about what's popping. She don't give a fuck about Anton. She don't give a fuck about cheating. She give a fuck about that's a hot topic. The Tasha K wannabe. Get the fuck out my face. You worse than Anton because the reality is that at least he making his own content. The reality is you ain't like, oh, I'm gonna expose cheaters, or I'm a high-level Christian and I'm gonna expose people claiming Christianity and behaving badly. That's not your game. Your game is, I'm gonna talk about other people's private business if it's popping. If it ain't popping, I don't give a shit. So the reality is, Anton Daniels ain't the first motherfucker to play with the lines of marriage on or off camera. The reality is, if me and you have an agreement, whatever that agreement is, I am not cheating on you if I am inside of the bounds of what we agreed upon. Cheating is when you break the agreement. Cheating is when you go outside of the agreement. The reality is, don't nobody know what nobody's marriage agreement is. Now, if you walk around saying, I am the most loyal man ever, then yeah, you should be exposed. You harp on the fact that men need to be more loyal to their wives and show their wives more respect in public and so on and so forth, then yeah, you deserve to be exposed because you're a grifter. That ain't what Anton Daniels is selling. If you think you can call out anybody who say they're a Christian the first time you see them doing something that does not represent Christianity, then nigga, you can make a fucking living off that. Matter of fact, the entire premise of Christianity and the need for Jesus was to prove that you can even do it perfectly. The assumption is that you can't. That's the assumption. That's the baseline, is that you can't, but you should strive to. And you should repent and ask for forgiveness when you fall short. But the assumption is that you will, by default, fall short at some point and sometime. And I guess if you on camera all the time, it'll probably happen on camera where people can see it. And should people call it out? I guess if you a Christian and that's what you're supposed to do as far as your content, and that's what you focused on. But if you ain't no motherfucking Christian, mind your motherfucking business. Otherwise, you just trying to exploit Christians, which makes you worse than the nigga you talking about. Now, the reality is that ain't nobody said this nigga fuck nobody. Now, you can say, hey, I think that's disrespectful to his wife. That's your fucking opinion. If his wife don't feel disrespected by it, or that's inside of their agreement, nigga, who the fuck are you to say? That's your own motherfucking insecurities, thinking that, oh, if it's a pretty bitch around, my nigga ain't got enough self-control not to fuck her. Whether your man fuck a bitch in front of you or in private, it don't matter. He's still cheating on you. The same way a person say that, oh, I'm not an alcoholic anymore. But if you say, hey, we finna go to this party, and they say, I can't because I used to be an alcoholic, then you're still an alcoholic. You're just abstaining from being around the thing that tempts you. But you're still an alcoholic. That thing still has a control over you, or you would feel safe around it. The reality is that when you fear something, it's because you understand that that thing poses a threat to you. If you had to fear other women, me and you couldn't have a relationship. While I be on the phone with you, it'd be 15 asses passing me daily, just on a regular basis. I'm talking about notable, but you don't have to be concerned about that. Even if you were, that'd be more a representation of you than me. But you understand that this thing happens because we have trust. I understand that you are an attractive woman and that niggas from your job, or a nigga at the gas station, or a nigga that knock on your window at the light and say, hey, shorty, what's up? It just is what it is. I can't fade that. I have to be confident that what I do is good enough for you, that I don't have to compete with the public. I have to compete with the image that I've already given of myself to you. I'm competing with myself. I have to continue to either hold the bar or raise it higher. If I start losing to my prior self, that's when you make room in your relationship for other people to sneak in, possibly, depending on the woman you have. But at the end of the day, this whole thing, Anton said, this nigga is a snitch. The reality is that just because I say you's a snitch, it don't mean that what you told about me is true or that it matters. It just means that you had an opportunity to either hold what you know and keep it in your head as, I don't know, collateral, whatever you wanted to do with that information. But what you did is you got angry. And in your anger, you thought as a parting shot that you would try to expose me. Now, the fact of the matter is, you didn't expose me. The attempt of you trying to expose me says more about you. Not necessarily that what you're saying is true. It's just the fact that you tried. And that is something that people should be warned about. In our live stream, I addressed that. And I said, that was the thing that got me off. It wasn't the fact that he tried to fight the nigga, try to be tough and then go outside. It was the fact that you tried to break man law. You talk about people breaking codes. Anton don't owe you shit as far as his fidelity with his wife. He don't owe you no explanation of who this woman is and nothing. The fact of the matter is, you're upset because he didn't explain to you who this woman was. So you made an assumption that this was his side chick or something, which makes no sense of why you would try to bring the side chick on a fucking show. Even if that was true, you could have held that information. You could have pulled me to the side and said, hey, nigga, what's up with this shit? I don't stand for this shit, bro. That's why I couldn't let her on there. And you could have just said that to me privately. But as a man, the one thing you owe me is to mind your fucking business, no matter what's going on. You owe me to mind your fucking business. You damn sure owe me not to expose my private business. And it don't mean, I don't give a fuck if we friends or not. Now, if you have some kind of connection to this woman, or you have a connection to my woman that I'm cheating with, then maybe that would be more in line with something that would be acceptable. Hey, nigga, man law, no man law, nigga, that's my cousin, that's my sister, that's a friend of mine. I know her before I know you. Okay, now you have grounds to say why I need to explain, or to say why you had the right to speak on something you didn't quite understand. But the fact that you think that you didn't do that to try to save Rita, you don't know Rita. You did that to try to hurt me. And in the process, you're also hurting the young lady that I'm with, because now she's got to try to explain to whoever she may be with, who's likely that she's with somebody because she's very attractive, that it ain't what they saying either. And sometimes if you can get the rumor mill running loud enough, that it starts to fuck with the psyche of people who already know the truth. And because you know that, because you're in the public, because you dealt with your own set of rumors and shit, you know. I'm not telling you no shit you don't know. So you try to ruin me on a level that goes beyond two men disagreeing and want to get into fisticuffs. And that makes you a hoe, because that's how women fight. That ain't how men fight. So this whole thing is not about whether Anton is a sleazebag and fucking hoes on the side. It's about whether Corey Holcom had a place to say what he said. Anton has exposed himself on many occasions. Mika ain't the first woman that he's ever played too close in public. This is not the first, and it damn sure won't be the last. But nobody knows what Rita's willing to tolerate, what she thinks is okay. It might even fucking bother her, depending on how she thinks. So everybody placing themselves in the middle of another person's relationship is just out of pocket, regardless of even if they're right. They say, oh, you stupid, or it's your self-esteem, or he's financially holding you hostage, or whatever the fuck you think the reason is. It ain't your fucking business or your place to speak on it publicly. And privately, you can say whatever the fuck you want to your homegirls and sit there and pontificate on what the fuck going on in my bedroom. But publicly, you ain't got no right. Matter of fact, it should be considered slander. You should get sued for some shit like that.
You the chef now.